What an exciting game that was, and what more could you ask for as a Habs fan? The power play looked good, the penalty kill looked good, Suzuki with some assists, Caufield scores, Dach scores, Armia gets 2. I'll be breaking everything down on this game reaction edition of Habs Digest. Hello, bonjour, ahoy, and welcome to this game reaction edition of Habs Digest. I'm your host, Josh Gosse, and quickly before we get into the video, about 70% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel. If you're here every day, like I'm sure a lot of you guys are, and you haven't hit that button, you might as well hit it, right, to get our daily Montreal Canadiens content. So, we're going to get into that game right away, and boy, was it ever fun. And maybe my favorite game of the season, just considering the circumstances. After losing 7 in a row, Montreal, they come into the Bell Center, the Centre Bell, on a Saturday night, maybe the best venue in all of hockey, and they put on a show for the fans. No, it wasn't it wasn't a coach's dream of a game. It was still a bit sloppy on both sides, and a lot of the shortcomings we've seen from Montreal were very much still valid there tonight. But it was a show of a game. They come out on top. We get some goals from some important players. And we looked strong right off the bat, right? Montreal came out and they looked like they were ready to fight. They looked like they had energy, which we haven't seen in the past probably 7 games. They looked like they had an extra bit of pep in their step, not just some players, but pretty much everyone. And I think that really helped us tonight. And the first period, it was not our best first period ever, but we staved off the Blues for a while. We had a good penalty kill. Our first line was creating some good chances in the zone. Slafkovsky and him, Dvorak Anderson line looked pretty good. Allen was solid. The only knock on us in the first period was that very late goal where we gave up a 2-on-1 after Dvorak tried to get a nice little backhand breakaway. Didn't quite work. Came the other way. The Blues scored in a 2-on-1. Fair enough. It's a risk you want to take if you're Montreal. You crash the net. You give up the 2-on-1 the other way. They go into the second down 1-0, but it's the second period where Montreal came alive. And they were spurred by one guy and one guy in particular, and that's Yoel Armia. After St. Louis had multiple 2-on-1s against Montreal early in that second period, Yoel Armia took it upon himself to take the puck the other way, use the slight numbers advantage as he's going down, and then he gets a Blues player, I think Jake Neighbors, to just take a spill, take a fall. Armia sees that. He sees he has an open slot. He skates right into it after puck handling through pretty much the whole Blues team, snipes it over Jordan Binnington's glove hand, and he looks to the heavens saying, like, maybe it's back. Maybe my touch is back. And if you guys weren't watching the game, you're not going to see the impact that goal had on the highlights. And what I mean by that is, after that goal, Yoel Armia's play every time he was on the ice was like old Yoel Armia. It was just supreme confidence. I noticed it. I think the announcers probably noticed it later in the game as well, but when he was out there, it felt like he was on an island. It felt like he could do whatever he wanted to do. He could puck handle through anyone, stick handle his way to whatever place on the ice he wanted to go, using his big body to stave off defenders, hustling, fighting in board battles. He was doing everything. And I think it all came from the confidence from finally scoring again. Because the goal against the Rangers was, yeah, it was a cool rebound goal, but this was a Yoel Armia goal. Good stick handling leading to a nice, hard snapshot from the slot. And it felt like he was back. And St. Louis, yes, to their credit, they came back and just a few minutes later made it 2-1 for themselves. But Montreal decided, like, nah, you know what? We're not laying down. Montreal knew they had to come out of the second period on top, especially with how well they were playing. And if not on top, at least even. They're down 2-1. They just lost 7 in a row. They needed something here. They were playing super well in the second, and they got a bit of a break when, okay, well, first of all, I'm going to say this. Did you guys know you could just, if you didn't call a high sticking penalty, you can just review it and then make the call? Because that happened to Montreal twice tonight. Once when Dach got high sticked, bleeding, 4-minute double minor. And then later, I forget who it was that got high sticked a little later. Was it Drouin? I think it might have been. Took a high stick as well. And then the refs didn't call it on the play either. And they went back, reviewed it, and gave Montreal another power play. So, but regardless, the first one, Dach gets high sticked. Definitely a double minor. It's reviewed. It's confirmed. Montreal's in the power play. And it was beautiful. It was something I haven't seen in ages. It was just so clean, so crisp. The passes were good. The players were making the right movements. Our zone entries were perfect. I don't know how much of this had to do with St. Louis's lack of penalty kill. I mean, I don't really know. I mean, Bortuzzo, of course, went out with an injury. And Torrey Krug is just out anyway with an injury. So, but still, like, I'm not even sure if those guys play penalty kill. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't really follow the Blues, but Montreal's power play looked outstanding. That 4-minute double minor, we went about 2 minutes with our first power play unit, gave a little bit of a brief shot to our second, came back out with the first power play unit for the last minute or so, and they finally capitalized. After hitting multiple posts, Caufield had a one-timer, and they zoomed in on the mark on the post that he made, just dead center on the post. Suzuki, far post, same thing. We probably hit like 10 tonight. But luckily, puck comes around. Suzuki does another one of those little shot fakes. It looks like he's going to shoot as he steps in and just fires it without looking to his left, where Dach pots a goal to put it 2-2 as we head into the third period. And after such a great second, after getting that power play goal, something they desperately needed, Dach, a big goalless drought. I think it was 11 games. Suzuki still hasn't scored in like 15 games, by the way, but he did have 2 assists tonight. We're just like looking for a breakthrough, and we got it early when Cole Caufield scores 36 seconds into the third after Nick Suzuki played some hide and seek. It was weird. The puck was almost about to go behind the net. Suzuki crouches behind Binnington like this, and then jumps out from behind, goes into the behind the net, pokes the puck away from the Blues defenders right to Caufield in the slot, who does a nice little backhand chip over Binnington to put us up 3-2. But there's a problem, because the Blues came right back and scored 2 goals in less than 2 minutes. And if I'm going to take away anything negative from this game, and I don't want to, but I will say this, Montreal needs to stop doing this. When they score, they often have bad shifts right after, and it's quite common, especially for some reason when Jake Allen's in net, when one goal goes in, another one goes in soon after. Now, that goal, especially the second goal by the rookie, I forget his name, I apologize, but he scored his first NHL goal on a rebound that Jake Allen can't control. But regardless, St. Louis still came out and outplayed Montreal, had too much time in our zone, and they went up 4-3. It was 2-2 heading into the third. Then Caufield scores 36 seconds in. Then the Blues score 2 in 2 minutes, and it's just chaos. But then who comes back and ties it up? It's our guy again, the one-man Armia. It's Yoel, and I'm just so happy for him, right? It's a sort of a scramble play this time. It's another weird rebound goal as Jake Evans like dives to slap the puck. He hits the inside of the post, kind of bounces back out front. Armia whiffs once, but then second time Binnington was doing his best attempt at making a snow angel, trying to take a nap on the ice. I'm not really sure. He seemed to have no hustle, no effort at all, and Armia just pots it into the net. And he looks again to the sky like, oh, he was so pumped. He was so excited, and I was so excited. Our boy is getting his touch back. Now, one game. Guys, remember, one game, so don't have your hopes up this is going to happen every single night. But regardless, I'm super glad that Armia has his confidence back, because he just looks like a different player when he knows he can do what he wants on the ice, and it really paid dividends tonight. So that makes it 4-4. And the game got a little more exciting, because you knew that Montreal had the momentum. You knew that Armia scoring that hyped the boys up, it hyped Armia up, it hyped everyone up. Everyone was so excited. The Bell Center got so loud. The horn when he scored that goal was louder than I've ever heard through my TV. And I think it gave the boys that little extra step that they needed. And it resulted in a goal that I'm going to show you in a second. And if you didn't watch the game, you'll see that they went and credited this goal to Josh Anderson. If that's what it'll show. I'm not sure if it shows. Actually, this little base bar down here, I updated it right after the game ended, because they changed it. They originally credited this goal to Jonathan Drouin. No, you can see Josh Anderson right below me. 2 blocks, no shots. So what actually happened here, I'll just show you the play. So if you look here, Drouin kind of comes in, stumbles, get little backhand shot, and Anderson pokes it in last second. So you can look at this here. There'll be a slow-mo replay for you. Look at this. So Drouin gets it, little backhand, and watch Anderson. He pokes it in last second. And they showed a couple of angles of this in the game, because when Drouin did it, he turned around and was like, yeah, I scored. But the guys were going over to Anderson, and they were kind of talking to each other, like, who goes to the bench first? Who goes? But Anderson decided, okay, it's going to be me. I think I stole your goal. Fist bumps across, and they showed the top-down view, and it doesn't get much closer than it was. Drouin, of course, he tried to pass it across, gets chipped back up onto his body in a little backhand, starts rolling towards the line, and as it's right about to cross the line, Anderson just pokes it in. Now, you can't blame Anderson for stealing the goal. You see the puck near the goal line. He can't just let that go in to let Jonathan Drouin get his goal, as the announcers were saying. No, you can't do that. In the heat of the moment, you don't know if a defender's stick's going to get in there. You need to poke that puck in as soon as possible to make sure it's a goal. Josh Anderson made the right play. I'm still really sad that we didn't get to see our boy Drouin's first goal of the season. But in spirit, that's his first goal of the season, because that would have gone in if Anderson didn't touch it. But regardless, That put us up 5-4. And what happened next is what I can only describe as just pure hype energy. Like, I think that's the only way I can put it. Because when you watch Montreal after that, the fight in the offensive zone, Kirby Dach holds the puck along the boards, just pinning it for a minute almost, it felt like. And St. Louis comes down, they pull the goalie, Binnington, with 2 minutes left. And they had possession in the offensive zone the entire time. The whole time Binnington was out of the net, they had possession in the offensive zone. But Montreal was blocking shots left and right, tipping passes, not making anything easy for St. Louis. They could hardly get a shot towards Jake Allen. People were diving on the ice. Armia was fighting Dadonov with that final little poke as the final horn sounded. Montreal came out of this game with a victory. Like, so many positives tonight. Yoel Armia is number one star. 2 goals. Both awesome, both clutch, both hyping the crowd up. Our boy is back for now. Again, don't get your hopes up it's going to happen every night, but super exciting to see him playing with confidence because that's the Armia we know. It's not the Armia we've seen this season. He's tended to do that in the past where he's kind of looked like, I don't really care, but he might be back. Like, maybe, just maybe, at least for a few games, those goals will give him fuel. Jonathan Drouin looked phenomenal tonight. Caufield gets that sneaky little goal as he gets his 50th goal of his career, 23rd of the season. And Montreal is now, 11-1-3, I think, in 1-goal games this season, which is insane. Coming into tonight, the Blues had the best record in 1-goal games. Montreal had the 3rd best record in 1-goal games, which is shocking. So we either win close games or we get blown out. But when the game is close, maybe it's the Habs faithful, maybe it's the players, maybe it's the style of coaching, but we get the job done, and we proved it tonight. I thought everyone had a great game. I will say we definitely missed having Kaiden Guhle. Not having Kaiden Guhle on the ice there tonight really hurt us in some ways, especially offensively with our defensemen. Edmondson, I found, was pinching a lot more in the offensive zone, taking the puck in, kind of trying to create offensive zone time, which is something that Guhle would usually do. But Savard looked better defensively tonight. Him and Edmondson were great in the closing moments of the game. And the forwards were good all around. Depth scoring, right? We got 2 from Armia, basically 1 from Drouin. We got a power play goal with Kirby Dach, and Suzuki and Caufield link up once again. Power play looked good. Penalty kill looked pretty good. We did give up a power play goal, but the first one looked fine. So, all in all, Team Tank might have to wait for a minute. No, I mean, seriously, I'm still on Team Tank. I'm still with you guys. Like, don't think I've changed teams. I'm still here on Team Tank. But in the tank, you're going to have to win some games. And what this game showed me is that this Montreal team really has potential to be very good in the future, if not even for the final stretch of the regular season. Because when they get that depth scoring, when they get their lower tier guys playing with confidence, that's when we're at our best. This is the first time we've scored 5 goals, and I don't know how long. It feels like over a month. And I mean, it just felt like a different team tonight. The team that we've seen on the 7-game losing streak, it felt like every single game I came in here saying our defense made a million mistakes, which they did tonight, still make a lot of mistakes, I will say. But regardless, defense made a lot of mistakes and we can't score a goal. Well, we did score tonight. We capitalized. We were scrappy. We were fighting for rebounds. We were being physical. It was a team that had a lot more energy, and I think that was thanks to the Saturday night Montreal crowd, and maybe these guys just getting sick of the 7-game losing streak. Maybe Coach Marty had something to say, but all that put together led to a great Montreal victory, and I'm super happy I witnessed it, and I hope you guys enjoyed it too. That'll do it for this game reaction edition of Habs Digest. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, do whatever you want to do. I mean, last video, I will say, it was this point in the video, and I said, if you're still here, leave a comment. And some of you did, like right away. Some of the first comments on the video were saying you were still there. So I just wanted to let you guys know who are still here. We really, really appreciate you guys who watch the entire video start to finish, no matter what we post, because not every video is going to be a banger, but we try to do the best that we can to put out the best content for you guys to make sure you enjoy. So thank you very much for any of you that are still here, and leave me a comment if you did hear this little speech. I'm your host, Josh Gosse. We'll catch you in the next video.